Sure. So thanks again for joining us. As always, we keep telling you we have a social network page on Facebook and on Joy News on TV on Facebook. You get to have a lot more interactive questions for you to always answer. And then we'll get to relay some of those messages to you in the course of the whole program. But this is what we need to do. We need to look at what the stories are on My Joy Online, the foremost portal that we always refer to because it's one of our own. We look at drought in Techiman, cause Islamic leaders to hold special prayers for rain. Rain needed, rain not falling appropriately. And so a lot more of the farmers and those community leaders worried about how incessantly the current condition is could lead to certain bout of drought in those areas. We look at the next story, and NAS must focus its lenses on Supreme Court legal practitioner urges, and that's from a former director of the Ghana Law School, urging Anas Aremeyawa Nas to take his investigative lenses to the Supreme Court to expose corrupt judges there. I don't know how you can do that, though. We all know Anas is also a lawyer as well, so you can take appropriate steps and make sure that he's able to infiltrate one of his dual professions, so to speak. We also have Anglo Gold Ashanti Partners wrangle to revamp Obuasi mines, and that's very good news for many followers of the mining sector, especially for those residents and those who tend to benefit from the value chain as far as the mining sector is concerned in that very gold town, Obuasi. And so many of you should be happy that at least Anglo Gold Ashanti, they've decided to partner Randgold, also of South Africa, to make sure they get the best out of the remaining concessions that is under their care or under their watch. We also have the next story, man tripped by Hungarian camera woman wants hair of karma. But the good news is that as of this morning, is it Real Madrid or a Spanish club, so to speak, has given a status, an asylum status to the man who was stripped and his family, because back in Syria, he was a coach for a first division team in that very country. And so they say even though the values or the football strength of the Syrian team may not be same as in Spain, they could still give him a job there, give him a status, and give him some livelihood to continue living. It's all about human survival, is that not it? Injunction attempt on Anas video is exercise in futility, and Kukubaku Jr. is saying that despite all the efforts by those alleged to have been perpetrators of the bribery incident in that very investigative report by Anas Aremeyawa Nas, it behoves on how they can be able to, is it injunct? How the processes of showing the video would also be done in other news media, i.e. social media, internationally, especially the major news networks that already seem to have samples of the video and so could be showing it anytime soon or as they've scheduled. And I know Al Jazeera, for example, they've been giving a lot more insight into how likely that also could be done. So we'll see how that goes. And the next story we're looking at is Sosu Xavier kicks against airing of Anas video. And he's a human rights lawyer, feels that the human rights of those affected should be respected. He has his view, and others also have his view.
So what if
have their views?
I don't know. If that happened to other people, would we be hearing these same things?
No, we won't. But these are, you know how lawyers go.
So the judges are, why, we won't show because?
They have rights.
Really? But we don't.
The sex officers don't.
Okay, what if it's a movie?
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's a movie. We're premiering a movie.
Xavier Sosu. Also aspiring to become a parliamentary candidate for the NDC as well. And the last story we'll be looking at, last but one. Police use unreasonable brute force against defenseless protesters. That is Let My Vote Count Alliance convener. And that it's just a place close to my office. I was just going to a client's place, and then I got to notice that there were tear gas fumes or smoke.
You had your own share of it?
I didn't have. I think the other passengers on the road, other motorists on the road, who had not rolled up their. Incidentally, I had rolled up my glasses then, my windows then, so I was okay. I was insulated. But those who did not, and the tear gas, even though it was not that much, had entered their car.
Exactly where? Because we
this around the cathedral area. Okay. From Cathedral going down towards the Electoral Commission, going up towards the Electoral Commission area, and also down towards the Adabakra at the Brakamen Road, YMCA and all that.
But so that was not supposed to be the routes.
Yes, ideally that was not supposed to be. I mean, they flouted the rules they had agreed with the police. And sometimes I believe that the leaders of the demonstrator also may be taken by the euphoric reaction of the crowd behind them and feel that's the cool. And you know, the police had the first experience of the Sodom and Gomorrah demonstrators who came out from their hood into the street, and the police couldn't stop them. So this time they were very much determined to make sure those cloudy incidents were not things that could really truncate the way they needed to ensure that security was up there. UEFA Champions League, Mamavi is always up in arms about how we are not able to promote our league, etc. But we can't forget this one. Borino starts Babarama. He started him, and according to what the statistics are, he had a 91% pass rate, and that was good.
What position does he play?
He plays as a left back.
Okay, so
he was good. You know, he's very tricky on the ball, and he's good with his footwork too. So
is this a desperate Mourinho we are seeing? Ideally,
I'm a Chelsea fan, and we're desperate. Really, okay. We needed this win, but Maccabi Tel Aviv is not the team that will test us for us to say if we overcome them.
Thank you.
Yes, I have to be objective, really. I mean, even though we won 4-0, it's Arsenal that's going to test us for us to know, and that's coming this weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. So those will be the stories, and Mama will look at the other stories on the other news portals.
I tell you what's trending very much today. What's trending? I will even show you pictures that would make you, I don't know. I don't want to say shocked because I don't know about that. But this is.
I've seen many horrid things in my career as a journalist, so I don't think I'll see any more.
I'll show you beautiful pictures, really. But if you look at City FM online, I think everything is on yesterday's demonstration and the violent clashes that ensued. This can be democracy. Flogged Gabby Field at police. Also, protesters forced us to use tear gas. Apparently, the police says that it was they who forced them to use the kind of force that we saw them use yesterday. State Attorney Secretary sacked for advocating corrupt judges. Details of that in a bit. Judge sues conference center to stop Anna's video. There's a particular judge who's going like all length to see this thing blocked. But the point is, you can block the conference center. My dear Judge, there's the National Theatre.
There's YouTube.
There's Trade Fair.
There's YouTube.
There's YouTube. Thank you. I mean,
and
so many platforms.
That's what's
so many.
And there's Facebook.
We can even premiere it on Joy News. I mean,
it can even be premiered on Facebook anywhere in the world. You know, sometimes the world has moved on, and I guess the laws also need to be moving on in that direction.
Yeah.
But for example, they served, some few months ago, they served a writ of summons over a divorce to a Ghanaian gentleman over Facebook. Yeah. So the world has moved on.
Yeah,
so
I'm trying to get you and I can't get you.
Yes. So they show that, Charlie. Once you haven't served on the person, forget.
Yeah. Okay. Let me take you. I think what will be the highlights of our review this morning will be the demonstration, and we're going to be building on it a lot more later on my banner. Violence mass, let my vote count demo. On all these are pictures took by David Andor of myjoyonline.com. So
the police was holding.
Check it out.
King Steak, Ketekpan. Keteku.
Okay. So this is it. We're starting. And then you come down to, it started beautifully. This was supposed to be the route, apparently. And then, demonstrations don't come without some amazing pictures. Okay. They were marching on. And then, okay, the pictures would tell you. So, yeah. I guess this was when it started being, but look at this. Look at this picture, Roland. Okay, this is when it started being very messy.
So the police had blocked where they were not supposed to go.
I'm not sure they blocked it.
No, I'm
not sure they blocked it with anything.
No, they had barricades there, and they wanted to force through the barricades of the police, yes.
Okay, so it means that they couldn't go through the barricades.
No, the point is that those areas were agreed not to be threaded. Okay, so at some point they decided that, well, they had enough crowd, so they wanted to go through, and the police said no, you can't.
So why were they chasing some of them who, you know?
Because they wanted to force through. I think so. There was some pandemonium, and in the process, others tried to run through and evade, and then I think the police also were overly.
There's this particular gentleman who was being chased. So I've shown you a couple of pictures of him.
Yes, I saw one on TV.
And then so he's still running. Police is still going after him, and then they get him. That's it. But my question to the police is, when you get him, why do you beat him up? Because he's already, you know, you've already arrested him. He's in your custody. Okay, I mean, well, with this one you can't say because, you know, you don't see the...
Okay.
Yeah, but this you can tell because, you know...
No, maybe they just tapped the head. Really?
Seriously? Okay. And then the tear gas and all.
I saw this one. I was going through the crowd, the traffic within that very intersection. Yes.
Okay, but this is the talking point right now. That's Gabi Ochiridako. He says they arrested him. He didn't argue with them, and then they lashed.
Who is that? Is that Smart? Nia Kofi Smartabe? Was he reporting? I hear that's not him, according to.
Okay, so.
I thought he was inspecting Gabi.
That's it.
But Gabi is well built, don't you say?
For more of the pictures, please log on to myjoyonline.com. If you've got comments, you can go to facebook.com/Joy News on TV. I'm trying to see if I can open the story up and share a little bit of it with you. The state attorney's secretary who's been sacked as well. Okay, so the Association of State Attorneys have voted to dismiss their National Secretary Charles Ofori over some comments he made in relation to the judges indicted in Anas on Joy FM. Okay. You know, I think it was when the...
So Joy put him in trouble?
No, we didn't put him in trouble, not at all. I mean, he made nobody forced him to speak.
On his own volition,
yeah.
Yes.
So the association took the decision to dismiss Mr. Ofori after an emergency meeting on Tuesday, where the majority in the vote concluded that the comments he made were derogatory and did not represent the views of the association. Okay, so this is what he said on Joy FM. The quote is here, thankfully. We're not angels, but anytime we meet these temptations, we should be guarded by the values that we were taught in the law school, he said in an interview with Joy FM. I think they should, because, listen, they came out to disassociate themselves as an association with the comments made by the secretary. So why do you go and take this action? When they were on strike and he was speaking for them, now and they didn't take any action. Amazing.
I think apart from
this is not good.
I think apart from the retired judge who cried at the church service, and Ace Ankuma, and the last one will be this gentleman Charles Ofori, who are all, I mean, legal practitioners, etc. None of the lawyers really are in for it.
Really?
They're not in for this very video, I think. Publicly speaking.
As in, like, how?
Condemning and saying what...
Samson has been very vocal.
Okay, and Samson
has
so
been
we have
very 4.
Vocal.
No. We have there are a lot of people who are not talking.
Oh, they are not talking? They're not supposed to come and talk.
No, but there are a lot of lawyers, you know, who have views, strong views, but who don't talk. It's only because of the way they are. Not everybody would want to come to the public and speak, but there are so many people in favor of this. I mean, they go through it, they know it. Abraham Amalba had said something before.
Yes, there were 4
on this,
including Chris.
Chris Akume had also said something strongly, except that he couldn't prove it. You know, when he dared them, he dared the panel on Newsfile. They pushed him, but he still didn't give names, so they couldn't let him go on.
He couldn't have given
except
names.
That Anas has given us a lot more.
He has given them an impetus.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. This is where we end our review. You can go to the newsstands and grab the newspapers and read the details of some of the stories that you've heard, but you can always log on to myjoyonline.com. Please do stay with us here on the AM Show. We have a lot more coming your way.
We'll be right back.